All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we are diving straight into a totally magnificent saga of destiny and rebellion. We're stepping right into the world of Alagacia to follow an ordinary farm boy who gets thrust into a completely extraordinary, magical world. But, this isn't just your standard story about magic. It's a really deep examination of how one single, mysterious event can literally topple a massive, tyrannical empire. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. You're wandering in the woods, right? And you stumble upon this strange, polished blue stone. Then, suddenly, it cracks open and reveals a baby dragon. As our hero, Eragon, reaches out and touches the creature, this brilliant blue light just sears a glowing mark right into his palm. And this isn't just some physical brand, it's the spark of an ancient telepathic bond. Without a single word spoken out loud, a voice echoes directly in his mind. Her name is Saphira, and Eragon is her chosen rider.
Now, to really get why this bond is a literal kingdom shaker, we got to zoom out for a second and look at the macro history. So, centuries ago, dragon riders were basically the ultimate peacekeepers. But as we know, power corrupts. A rider named Galbatorix completely betrayed his own kind, slaughtered the rulers, and set up this absolutely ruthless dictatorship. Fast forward to the present day, there's this rebel group called the Varden fighting back, and their warrior, Arya, just managed to steal the king's most prized possession, a dragon egg.
So, that stolen egg? Yeah, it ends up with Eragon. And let me tell you, raising a mythical beast is a massive learning curve. Saphira has a very strict, meat-only diet, so apologies to the local wildlife, for sure. And in what feels like the blink of an eye, she goes from this tiny, timid hatchling to a massive sky-dwelling giant. But hiding a dragon in a kingdom ruled by a tyrant who specifically wiped them out? That is a recipe for absolute disaster.
And well, disaster strikes really fast. Someone local actually leaks Eragon's identity to the king's terrifying assassins. Sensing the danger, Saphira acts on pure, unfiltered instinct. She violently snatches Eragon and just flies him to safety. But they're too late to save his home. His farm is burned to the ground, and tragically, his uncle Garrow is murdered. Shattered by grief, Eragon does what pretty much any traumatized kid would do. He blames Saphira and screams at her to leave him alone.
Right at this moment of total, utter despair, in steps Braum. He's this older, kind of rugged guy. He spots the glowing mark on Eragon's hand instantly and basically forces him to flee. As they ride out into exile, Braum lays down the absolute, unbreakable law of this universe. The bond between a rider and a dragon is fatal. If the rider dies, the dragon dies with them. And that right there is exactly why the king wants Eragon dead. He's no longer just some farm boy. He is a walking, breathing threat to the throne. Now, what's really interesting here is looking at the sheer disparity between our opposing forces. On one side, we've got Eragon. He's an untrained, grieving kid relying purely on basic survival instincts. And on the other side, Durza, an ancient, completely terrifying sorcerer who commands deadly magic for the king. Durza is actively deploying these monstrous assassins called Urgals to hunt them down. The odds aren't just stacked against our hero, they are, quite literally, astronomical.
So naturally, Eragon's training under Braum is just an exercise in brutal frustration. He gets beaten easily in simple sparring matches, and Braum flat out refuses to teach him any magic words, knowing he just isn't ready for it. And to add to all that anxiety, a local fortune teller named Angela drops a chilling prophecy on him. She warns that a massive, terrifying war is looming, and that a mysterious girl is going to soon dictate his entire destiny.
Which brings us to a really foundational rule of Alagacia, the cost of magic. You see, magic here isn't some limitless superpower, it's an energy economy. Casting a spell drains the rider's physical stamina exactly as much as doing that same task by hand would. Push it too far, and it will literally kill you. Unless, of course, your dragon intervenes and shares their life force. So Braum isn't just being difficult, he's simply trying to keep Eragon from accidentally ending his own life.
And Eragon learns this the hard way during a sudden ambush. In a total panic, he fires off a magical arrow so powerful that it completely obliterates a stone bridge, drowning their attackers. But that immense effort completely drains his life force. He collapses, and he only survives because Saphira channels her own energy directly into him. Realizing that Eragon's raw potential is way too dangerous to leave unchecked, Braum finally bites the bullet and starts teaching him the true secrets of magic.
But here's the kicker. Braum is not just some knowledgeable old guy. When another attack forces Braum to step up and defend Saphira, he draws this brilliant red sword, revealing a familiar, glowing mark on his own hand. No way, right?
Braum is actually one of the last original dragon riders. His own dragon was murdered by Morzon, the king's chief traitor. Braum kept Morzon's red sword as this incredibly heavy, tragic reminder of the legacy that Eragon has just inherited.
So, since brute force clearly isn't working, Durza completely pivots to psychological warfare. He starts infiltrating Eragon's mind with these agonizing visions of Arya, the rebel who originally stole the egg, begging for his help. Braum vehemently warns him, saying it's an obvious trap, but Eragon's youthful arrogance and his newfound hero complex completely win out. He disobeys his mentor, mounts Saphira, and flies straight into Durza's fortress.
Predictably, the rescue mission is a catastrophic trap. Durza ambushes them, and in the chaos, Braum literally throws himself in front of a deadly spear to save Eragon. As they barely escape on Saphira's back, Braum is dying. In his final moments, he passes that legendary red sword over to Eragon, leaving him with one absolutely crucial instruction. To kill a shadow like Durza, you have to pierce him directly through the heart. It's this heartbreaking literal passing of the torch.
Right in the middle of all this chaos, they actually get bailed out by a rogue archer named Murdertag, who guides them safely to the Varden's hidden stronghold. But talk about the ultimate twist of irony. Murdertag is the son of Morzon, the very same traitor who destroyed the riders in the first place. Even though Murdertag just saved their lives, the paranoid rebels immediately throw him in prison. It's a pretty stark reminder that in times of war, bloodlines often matter a whole lot more than your actions.
There is zero time for politics right now, though. The enemy track them all the way back. King Galbatrix orders Durza's massive Urgal army to completely breach the sanctuary and wipe out the rebellion once and for all. The rebel gates are completely smashed in. Absolute terrifying chaos floods the hidden city. It is a desperate, do-or-die final stand for the Varden.
Completely overwhelmed on the ground, Eragon and Saphira have no choice but to take to the sky. And in this spectacular display of sheer power, Saphira unhinges and unleashes a roaring torrent of flames right down upon the invaders. Fire is literally raining from above, vaporizing the enemy lines and instantly turning the tide of the ground war. Even Murtag breaks out of his cell to fight right alongside the very rebels who just locked him up.
But Durza is not finished yet. Utilizing some incredibly intense dark magic, the sorcerer summons this terrifying dragon-like beast and takes the battle straight up into the sky. It is a massive, high-stakes clash of monsters up there. Durza's beast is just ferocious, violently biting Saphira's neck. They are horribly outmatched, and Saphira is rapidly bleeding out.
So, the crucial point is, it all comes down to this one final, wildly desperate gamble. Heavily wounded, Saphira uses absolutely every last ounce of her strength to whip her tail, launching Eragon high into the air. Remembering Braum's dying words, Eragon plummets downward at a terrifying speed and plunges the red sword directly into Durza's heart. The dark magic shatters instantly. The sorcerer is dead.
Saphira does manage to catch Eragon midair, but man, the landing leaves her practically at death's door. Eragon uses absolutely every single ounce of his remaining magic to heal her, completely passing out from the strain. When he finally wakes up, he finds her miraculously healed. The rebellion survives for today, but it leaves us looking at a pretty terrifying reality. Galbatorix is furious, and now he knows exactly where they are. The tyrant is coming. So the real question is this young rider truly ready for a king's wrath? Thank you so much for exploring this epic tale with me today, and keep questioning the magic around you.